Josh here with Jay at SpendTheBits, and they just won a hackathon. Let's say hello. Thank you for being here. This is for both of our communities. I'll make sure I get this posted on Twitter after, YouTube if it's too big, and I'll put the link on there. But let's talk with Jay a little bit about what's happening with SpendTheBits.
Hey guys, thank you for having me, and thank you for Josh to coming all the way to Edmonton just to meet me. Feel really precious. Thank you. Yeah, so SpendTheBits, we started with a vision with the Bitcoin, to make Bitcoin everyday currency. Thank you. For a common user. So utilizing, XRPL. When I started, looking into this kind of solution, I started with the Lightning Network, and then compared that Lightning Network documentation with the XRPL. I knew that there are some fundamental problem with the Lightning because you can't really do, a large value payment over the network.
Right.
Yeah. Versus over XRPL, there is no limitation. It's according to however you wish to proceed. So that really immediately gave us a superior tech to operate with. So hence the idea behind SpendTheBits, to spend your bitcoins in a real-time manner where Bitcoin is fast, cheaper, is eco-friendly payments.
Okay.
So that's the idea behind SpendTheBits when I originally launched it. So that happened in I think I started this project 2019. Some of the community members already know. So by 2020 we was go live in Canada, and then end of 2020 I think SEC sued Ripple, and at that time we was in process of getting the wireframe done for the merchant portal. That's another additional offering that we've been working on behind the scenes in the stealth mode from past 1 year. That's also coming very nicely. Mm-hmm. So what we're trying to achieve here is from customer to customer, it should be also customer to business payments.
Right.
Real-time customer business payments, so that you don't have to figure out where your money. And also another thing we accomplished recently is the interoperability. So on your end, you may be spending Bitcoin, but if the merchant says, hey, I only deal in Canadian currency, I don't need your Bitcoin. So that's fine too. You can have a cross-currency payments over the XRPL. So that's kind of an amazing accomplishment for us. So that's what in a nutshell SpendTheBits is.
Yeah.
And then recent events, we just won a CBDC hackathon. This is where we pitched to the judges regarding our CBDC management solution. This is where central authority can mint new CBDCs.
Right.
With
is
the process of
on a side ledger?
Yeah, it's on the side. It's side chain. It's a private side chain. Yeah. So this is where a central government can mint. Thank you. Mint new currency, issue that currency from standby account to the circulating account. You can see the all the track and movements of that money real time.
Right.
And then once you're done with your pilot project, you can burn that that money as well. So these are the fundamental feature set we given to the hackathon, and then we won in the interoperability category.
Wow.
Yeah. So
like central bank, that is so for people, thank you. So for people that are not very familiar with central bank digital currencies, there's two different types, right? You have wholesale, which is country to country, and then you have retail, which is the way that we standardly do business inside the country. When you go and you pay for things, when a customer is going to pay for a product, when that vendor is then paying for those products with another vendor, that's all a wholesale or a retail CBDC, and so these a side chain can operate faster than the main chain, and so some questions that I have for you is that on the XRP Ledger side chain, were you building out like an interface, or what was it that what was your niche that you think what was it that you did that you think contributed to you winning that hackathon?
So part of the first, the hackathon has two phases. First was the you build your solution using the mainnet ledger. Then the second part was you have to actually it was optional, but we feel the necessity that if you're doing this, do it the right way. So the second phase was you have to build the solution on the private ledger of the XRPL. So we met with the judges, we asked them, okay, what do you see as a final finished product, right? It was just a 15-minute meeting that we get to meet the judges.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, so whatever we can write it down, we note it down, and then we started working on the side chain. The thing we noticed on the side chain is, first of all, it's very security and privacy maintained chain.
Right.
It's faster than so on the mainnet, XRPL closes ledger on every 3 seconds to the 5 seconds.
Yes.
But we noticed on the side chain, it's way much faster. It's like blink of a second.
I
your
heard
payment's
that,
through.
so it's true.
Yeah, it's true.
Wow.
Yeah, and then we also get to know from the judges that we can also scale the payments if we wish to.
Yes.
Right. So right now we are in talks with, I can't disclose the name, but we are talking with the central bank as well, just to do a small pilot project.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to showcase, okay, we really have a potential here.
Right.
And also showcase the Alberta Edmonton technology to the world, that okay, we are just not wasting time. It is from from this many years. Actually, we have something very productive that provide immediate value to the central banks, and that value passed down to the end user. The whole ecosystem grows.
So this is not something that I think that Canada or the banks in Canada have not already tried, right? We know that they did Jasper Ubin, so they've already done several phases of testing with CBDCs and cross-border CBDCs.
Yeah. So I know the project Jasper is in. It was in the pilot stage, but I haven't followed up on that project. But the thing is, even if the Bank of Canada wants to work with us, we have the solution ready, which we just won the hackathon.
Right.
So we have a ready-made solution ready today.
Awesome.
Which can be utilized by bank. Any central bank can be utilized and mint those currencies.
Right.
To do maybe do a $1,000 pilot project, where you issue maybe for selected candidates, maybe Bank of Canada do a pilot program where it chooses, okay, these are the 1 million people which we going to drop $1,000 to each wallet, and then they can do transaction on all that stuff, and they can real time they can monitor, and this gives central bank full authority over the digital economy.
So they can see their inputs, they can see their outputs, they can see their in transits, they can have a overall view.
So the way it has been built, CBDC, so SpendTheBits original offering is different than we built the CBDC, because CBDC solution has to from the central bank point of view.
Right.
So this has additional check and balances in places. For example, in this case, any transaction which will be going to over $250.
Right.
After that, they will be invoked to do KYC.
Ah, okay. So that's good, because I know that in some countries, like the States, I believe that they were trying to put in like $300 an hour.
Yeah.
So if you've already got a ready-made kind of, if it's ready-made and it works here, then you might be able to scale it to other countries to go, okay, here.
Yeah. So before you scale, you need to do the pilots.
Absolutely.
Pilots are the heart of every project, right? Once you know pilot, you get to get the feedback, from the consumer, and because whatever we build, IT solutions are never 100% complete. There are always something left out, right? So those are the things that we are trying to accomplish. And on the side note, on the main Bitcoin, thing, on the SpendTheBits, we are also eyeing on Flare to go live. This is where the trustless issuance will happen. The Satoshi vision will come alive.
So I'm running an STSO and an FTSO right now.
That's great.
Yes.
That's great.
We'll be getting the grant and the vote power boost and all that.
Very nice, very nice. I met Hugo, I think in the early years of 2020.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So Ari, introduced me to him. Very nice guy.
Okay. Crypto area in Japan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
isn't she part of your project?
Yeah, she's advisor to SpendTheBits.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Not many people knows it, but she is the one who is working with me from past 3 years now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hello to Crypto area from Edmonton.
Yeah. So on that front, we are tackling the Bitcoin trustless issues, so that at least the decentralized thing that he envisioned can be handled properly. Right. At a faster scale. Not only that, with Flare we can unlock many other DeFi possibilities for SpendTheBits as well for our customers. Directly, they will benefit directly from Flare protocol. That's the whole point of integrating. And after that, we are also in talks with Interledger to open the gates because right now whatever we are doing, it's under XRPL ecosystem. But
Yes.
I want my SpendTheBits app to talk with PayPal. I want it to talk with Venmo, Cash App, to every other. It should be interoperable.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
yeah, so
Yes.
so we already have some idea how we're going to accomplish it. It's just a matter of time, you know, when the tech is available for us
Right.
from Flare to Interledger, and we'll incorporate.
Does State Connector and Layer Cake does that come in there?
Yes.
for
So
you? Yeah.
so for us, so the way Flare is designed is it is Turing complete component, which makes the difference of the world. So what that means is, you know, let's say XRPL is not smart contract enabled chain yet. So for that, in this case, we will use.
And I'd just like to say that we're seeing some of those challenges between smart contracts and not a chain without smart contracts on the NFTs that are currently happening, and then how people and the marketplaces integrate with the chain, and having to kind of like work around. Okay, well, you know, if we had smart contracts, we could do this with it, but if we don't have smart contracts, then we've got to try to like kind of wrangle it, right? And this is where the side chains come in, and they were talking about putting an EVM on a side chain. But let's get back at really a great conversation.
Yeah, so for that reason, you know, if we are deploying it, for right now, we you know, if we are deploying it, we'll be deploying it on a main chain because that's to be powered up by main chain. So that's where we are looking for FBTC, FLTC, whatever players support. Yeah.
Right.
We'll support it.
Yes.
So now let's say the sidechain is ready with the EVM compatibility.
Yeah.
This is where maybe this would be MVP 2 with SpendTheBits to the Flare. This is where maybe we'll take out the solution, you know, deploy it on the sidechain that is EVM compatible, and then utilize the layer cake of Flare.
Right.
But these two methodologies can happen hand to hand, as long as your native chain support. What kind of, you know, native chain support? If it is supporting smart contract, then you're okay to use layer cake. If it doesn't support you know, smart contract, that's fine too. You can use the FBTC, FLTC, FSX. You know.
So you would take a thing that doesn't have smart contract capability, you wrap it, so now it has smart contract capability, and you can do more with it.
Yeah. So the basic idea is, right now, you know, if you download the Satoshi wallet, Bitcoin wallet, it will give you a you know, secret key that drives your everything, you know, on the Bitcoin blockchain. But we are trying to accomplish is using Flare. Thank you. Sorry. So using Flare, what we'll do is we'll do the IOU trustless issuance, right? So your original asset will be on the Flare governance chain, where, you know, the community governance validator, NFT SO nodes, they will take care of your original asset, the network itself, and you have the full authority to sign that transaction or withdraw it, redeem it, or use it any way you see fit. So that's the pretty much idea behind, you know, Flare.
That's pretty awesome. For everybody that's made it through to 12 minutes, I hope that we're trying to, like, this is some high-level discussion, but I'm also trying to put in some detail for those that aren't as in the bottom of the rabbit hole as we are here, and so you can also get something out of the conversation. Something else that I was curious about is I know that there's people in my community that don't know about SpendTheBits and how it functions. So I think that's my next question here to Jay is, so Jay, how does it happen? My best guess if I was just to like take a pot shot at how I think SpendTheBits would function is, do you do it kind of like a Nostro Vostro, where you would have the Bitcoin here and then the Bitcoin here, and you have the XRP do the representative value, and then the slowest part would be your Bitcoin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how SpendTheBits is designed is, you know, obviously we didn't touch anything in the you know, Bitcoin protocol. You know, let it work the way it is. The only thing that we utilize is XRPL in between. So when you download SpendTheBits app, you go into action, you click on deposit, you select the, you know, Bitcoin asset type. The moment you click on Bitcoin, it will give you a Bitcoin mainnet address, and that is linked with SpendTheBits as a, you know, bridge, right? So once you deposit that your original Bitcoin to that address, that goes into Bitcoin, you know, we use BitGo as a custodian. So once everything is automated, you know, so there is no manual intervention here. So the moment you put your Bitcoin, let's say, onto our SpendTheBits app, the platform knows there is an incoming asset type which is Bitcoin. It's stored. It's with us. Now issue the client, the equal amount of BTC in the form of XRP IOU. Right,
okay.
the BTC IOU.
Okay.
So that has the obligation of payments. You can redeem as long as because we are applied by FinTrack. So there is the liability on us.
Correct.
This is the liability that we are obliged to do. Whatever, because this IOU has the legal obligation of redeeming, spending, anything to do with within the SpendTheBits ecosystem.
Okay, so for those that don't know what FinTrack is it's essentially like the CFTC or the SEC in Canada. It's called FinTrack. So if you're going to report me to anybody, it would be FinTrack.
Yeah. So FinTrack regulates everyone, all the financial entities in Canada.
Yes. Yeah, and then there's also money transfer business. But we're going to take a break and let's eat some food, and then maybe we can have a conversation about money transfer businesses in Canada and what separates Canada from the United States. As I know most of the customers that we probably have right now are in the United States, and it's not very regulated there, but we do have a lot of regulation. There's, so definitely some gray area, but certainly a lot more clarity and regulation in Canada. We could talk about kind of like how that applies to trying to do business in Canada as a Canadian business. But yeah, we'll get back to you here soon. Thanks so much. All right, everybody, here we are. We're back, and I just wanted to do another couple of minutes here. I know that we're crammed in a whole lot of information. We are at about 14 minutes, and I'm going to stitch these videos together. So I wanted to ask one more question here with Jay while we got him. He is doing something that I think is very unique, and like I was saying about regulations in Alberta and Canada, it's a little bit different. So one of the things here, as soon as so for people that know that I am a sole proprietor, and there's three distinctions, right? So there's me as an individual. If I have a sole proprietor, that's very much like I have to track my business differently than my individual, but they're combined. They're combined. I don't have a legal protection and some of the other things like a fixed tax rate that you would get if you were a limited or corporate. So a limited or corporate would be that legal distinction, that legal protection. But the change that comes along with that is also a requirement from the Alberta government that you then have to become a money transfer business, and you have to be registered. You have to go through all those kind of processes. Now, of course, SpendTheBits is a real company, and they've had to go through those hoops. So for people in that community, and if you're listening to this, I just wanted you to be clear with that this isn't just some app that was just created. There's a whole lot of infrastructure that makes something that is usable, that's so easy and so fast. There's the background things that need to happen from a regulatory perspective. So I just want to have a quick conversation about what it means to be a money transfer business and be licensed, and what that means with the KYC email. Can you explain that a little bit for people that have no idea about what that means?
100%. So the way it goes, it's not from the Alberta government. Actually, it's from the central government of Canada.
Oh, so it's a federal thing.
Yes, a federal thing.
Okay.
So federal thing requires you anytime you're making a money movement,
yes,
you have to oblige by the AML and KYC rule set. So what that means, first of all, you have to get the MSB license. You have to apply for it. It's easier to get the MSB. But the responsibility that comes afterwards are humongous.
So how long did it take you to get it?
Yeah, so it took, everything from start to finish took 6 months process.
Okay.
Yeah, it cost you around, 40 to 50 grand. Yeah, it's not cheap. So once you apply for the MSB, after that you need to hire a qualified government creditor team which will write your AML policies.
Oh, okay.
And that AML policies will dictate what type of KYC solution you will have, what type of KYB solution you will have. And then those KYC solutions are third-party vendors that do your transitioning. And then there is a due diligence component as well. There is a KYT segment as well, know your transactions. So there is a lot of overburden, lot of regulations on a simple crypto startup.
Right.
So it's nuts.
Right.
Yeah, the amount of paperwork we have to deal is humongous.
So The other reason I wanted to talk about this is that, so it makes sense that as a money transfer business, which is what SpendTheBits does, with me running an NFT project, if I all of a sudden wanted to go to a limited or corporate and have a separation and a legal protection for myself, I would automatically need to all of a sudden have to go through that process, have an additional $50,000, and then try to pigeonhole the KYC, AML, and that whole money transfer business into a business that's not even doing money transfers. And this is one of the tough things with having to try to with regulators trying to simplify everything into one thing when there's multiple different technologies that are kind of being developed here in the industry. Right? We've got NFTs that can do all kinds of things, and then we also have, of course, the really cool technology in being able to move money from here to there for people. But there's something that SpendTheBits is doing that our server here, she's from the Philippines, and when she came to our table, we were telling her about the kind of transformation that's happening in our economy right now, and she didn't really understand kind of the significance of it. But she sends money through a very expensive means that takes a long time back home to her family in the Philippines. And I know that I've got lots of friends that are Filipino and in other countries that like to send money back home, and so let's talk a little bit about how you're fixing that problem.
Yeah, so the way we are trying to approach that is, we are setting up a corridor, so from where, you will be able to do a real-time transaction from one country to the second country, and then the payout can happen in the cheapest form possible. So this is how we are targeting to tackle this. And then not only Philippines, we are also eyeing on Mexican.
Philippines and Mexico. Wow,
so these
awesome.
Are the two best candidates that we see as a pilot project that can solve real world problem for the customers.
Right. And so those are would be known as remittances, if I have the term properly.
So under the hood, this would be a separate solution along with the other solution that we have. So this would be our fourth pillar.
Okay.
Yeah, everything we do with our partners. We don't disclose this, we don't overhype it, we do it, we get the feedback, we incorporate, and then we announce it that we have done this.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's how I like to do things too.
Yeah. So that's the thing. And coming back to MSB, the pain doesn't stop there. Even if you get your MSB license, your ML policy, even KYC, still as a Canadian, we'll having a hard time to get the bank account set up. So it's true. The regulators and the politics talks about innovation, but when the actual innovation happens, they try to stop it. Because that's what it feels like. When you go to the bank and you tell them, I'm doing this and this and this to help the masses, at scale. Guess what? They don't like it.
Right.
And it's just nuts.
And I think that's where the disconnect comes with some of the banking is the separation of authority between the people that you're dealing with at the local branch level and the people higher up, and often those people at the local branch level, including the branch managers, sometimes have no idea that at the higher levels, even I'll give you a RBC for example, they included in one of their investment reports Ripple and how it was changing the world, and I know that a lot of the banks in Canada are working with these blockchain technologies on the back end, but the people at the branch levels have no idea about this, and they sometimes even stop transactions between totally registered and known identities within their own country from happening. It's kind of bonkers, and this is some of the growing pains and transitions between this emerging technology, which is so transformational to our society, and I think it's coming either way.
Yeah, and this is only applicable to crypto companies.
Right.
This discrimination happen only for crypto companies. If you are MSB doing the fiat thing,
yes,
there is no, I don't think there is any pain point there. But the moment you tell them, okay, you are a fintech or a crypto company,
yeah,
that's it, boom, they want to stop you right there.
Yeah, so we've got some growing pains to happen for sure.
Yeah. So these things used to happen from a government level because we don't really have a say. But as a Canadian, it's my right to get a banking account.
Right.
Where is my right? right? When I'm operating a crypto
Well,
company,
you're following the rules.
Yeah, everything.
You're filing all your taxes. You have to do KYC AML.
Yeah.
You have to do all of these things.
yeah, still don't get a bank account. This is the reality of Canadian, system. This is the ground reality, even as of today.
Yeah. So in a lot of ways, we are ahead of some countries, but we're still behind.
We're still behind.
We're still.
Sometimes we say, we are really early, which is true from the crypto point of view, but everything takes time to get it done. But at least there would be some support I would expect from the banking sector,
Right.
to give us some kind of a support, just to because end of the day, the product we are building, we are not building for. I'm not building for me, for my family. I'm building it for everyone to use.
Yeah.
It can help the entire ecosystem.
Right.
Right? This is, me doing a project just for me. This is for everything to do for our customers.
Absolutely.
So that's the frustration right there.
It is
Yeah.
frustrating.
Yeah.
Especially when you're so used to, like, if you're in crypto, we're one of the few percentage on the planet that are using this technology, and we just see, in some regards, like how fast these transactions can happen, and when you go to deal with some of these higher friction components of the financial infrastructure in our society, it's just like, oh, it's so painful.
It is like
this could
that.
be so much easier.
Yeah. Oh, that's the thing that I keep on, reminding myself. This could be way easier if they just work with us.
Yeah.
And whatever they need, we are there to support them. If they support us back.
Absolutely.
The trust goes both ways, right?
Definitely. And it's not like we're not trying from our
Yeah,
perspective
yeah,
to do the right thing.
So that's, like I said, we are heavily regulated, but still can't find a solution within Canada to scale.
Right.
You forget about everything else, cross border, anything else. Just on a domestic level, these are the pain points.
Yes. So these are some of the challenges that we're going through. If you're listening to this, I hope you got something out of the conversation. I definitely want to thank you for your time, and definitely, Jay, thank you so much for making time to be here with me.
For the audience, Josh specially traveled, just to meet me, so I'm really humbled. Thank you, Josh, for driving 4 or 5 hours in the winter days.
You're welcome, man. I always like meeting new people, and I would say that some of us making changes to work through these times when the crypto market's down, and maybe our portfolios are down too. We're trudging through the snow. We're making new trail to try to transform the world, and it's one step at a time. But here we are. Thank you again.
Thank you.